This is Acer palmatum dissectum, Laceleaf Maple, and these are small deciduous trees with very interesting cut leaves, very detailed and lacy. Also the form, you'll notice that most of these are weeping and also a little wider than they are tall, most of the varieties. The sizes are usually 6 to 10 or 12 feet tall and a little wider than they are tall. These are mostly hardy down to around minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and as I said, they're deciduous. So how I like to use them in design, how most people use them in design, they're of course used in Japanese garden effects. Also, you'll see here used by water. Their size is very ideal for a lot of different situations, and what I mean is that residentially especially can be used as a nice specimen small tree. They light very nicely because of their texture. They cast nice shadows. As they get older, it's nice to kind of thin out their foliage sometimes to expose the trunk shape and form, and again light that, and that's a really lovely way to use them in design. So you'll see that this one has a reddish tone to the leaves. Some of the colors of the foliage of the Acer palmatum dissectums is very nice. Here you see varieties. This is in a botanical garden. This is orangeola, my favorite one. The new growth is orangey, red, and pink, as the fall color is too. And so finding the different varieties in your area that are available, I recommend just kind of researching that, because that's always changing, and also it seems to be regional in terms of what people are growing. One of the big things I want to share is I live in an area in Northern California in a hot inland valley. This picture right here is in Danville, California. It gets over 100 for about a week or more, 2 or 3 times a year during the summer. The humidity is below 30% much of the time, and yet you'll notice there's no burn on these leaves. And I've had questions about Acer palmatum in general about its ability to handle heat, and I wanted to show you that this one is handling it just fine. And this is after 4 years of drought, by the way. Now this one has its feet near water, but the point is that it's not the ambient temperature and the heat intensity that burns them. It's their ability to balance that with their uptake of water. So if they're given enough moisture for the situation, then they can handle it. Just know that. And so of course you need to give them enough water to handle your situation. I don't consider this a drought tolerant tree by any stretch, but that said, they can be grown in hot areas if they're given enough moisture. Oftentimes I use this as an understory tree, by the way, and that way you're minimizing the intensity of the heat and the draw on the plant for moisture. And so under larger evergreen trees or even deciduous trees, this can be a nice use of this plant as well. So in design, again, I like to use it as a specimen and a focal point, and take advantage of the nice texture and color. And let's see, what else can I tell you? Size-wise, really important. I see a lot of people buy these plants, put them in an area where they only have 3 or 4 feet diameter, and it outgrows the space within 3 to 5 years. Give these at least 6 feet diameter, in my opinion, depending on your variety, and oftentimes more. But don't treat these like a small shrub. They aren't that. They are a tree, and they want to behave like a tree. And you'll end up having to butcher and over prune them if you put them in too small of a space. See how elegant they are, but they need enough space to show that elegance. That's what I can tell you about Acer palmatum dissectum, Laceleaf Maple. Beautiful small specimen tree, beautiful for lighting, and all these different foliage colors. Enjoy.